Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners. We return to Albion Park Harness Racing this weekend. We've had the early part of the week off with some track maintenance carried out, so we're expecting a fast track there on Saturday night, and it's a strong program, 9 races as I said. We get underway at 5:42. The highlight race, race number 6. Couple of speedsters locking horns here. Uncle Shank going up against Love Your Work, who's chasing 6 on the bounce. So that promises to be a real highlight on Saturday night. In this edition of Weekend Winners, I'm going to speak with Narissa McMullen and Hayden Barnes. As per normal, it's another busy night at the office for Narissa McMullen this weekend. 9 races, 7 drives for Narissa. She joins us now. Appreciate the time, Narissa.
Thanks for having me on, Chris.
First race for you on Saturday night is race number 1, and you partner up with Convair Hustler. You know this guy well because you were behind him when he scored 2 starts ago.
Yeah, he's racing really well. His last 2 starts have been super, but the draw probably hurts him a bit on Saturday night.
Yeah, it looks tough. Gate 7, and there's plenty of speed to your inside. So, at first thought, how do you play it? Likely to drift back here?
Yeah, I think we've probably got to drift back, and hopefully he's hitting the line well, but just going to make things difficult.
The good thing about Convair Hustler, he's in this really rich vein of form right now, but he's versatile. He's changing it up, and he's adapting well.
Yeah, exactly right. Doesn't really matter where he is in the run, so I'm sure he'll put in another honest effort.
Okay, Call Me Keith. He could be the sharp improver here. Second up, he lands the inside gate. Does he loom as the hardest to beat?
Yeah, I think he's the big winner from the draw, so I think he's going to be the hardest to beat.
Okay, so Convair Hustler for you, but with any sort of luck, he can certainly feature.
Yeah, exactly. Just needs the right run.
Okay, do you expect a genuine tempo here?
Yeah, it looks to be a bit of speed on the front line, so that will definitely help us.
All right, well, that's Convair Hustler, race 1, drawn gate 7. Race number 2 for you, and you partner up with your own horse here. He's perfectly ideal. He was one of the big winners with the barrier draw. Last week he had a shocking draw. Saturday night, much kinder.
Yeah, really good to get a good draw with him on a Saturday night. He's racing really well. Really good last week. I think we've got to drive in positively this week from the good draw.
This is a deep quality though, isn't it?
It is. These $20,000 races always bring some nice horses, so definitely some good form in the race. But yeah, from the draw I think we've got to be positive and sort of drive him off the gate and see where we end up.
He was more than okay last week off that bad draw, so with this much more favourable draw on Saturday night, he can be a player.
Yeah, I think he's got a chance. Really happy with him during the week as well.
Okay, what about gate speed? How do you line up that front line? It looks like there's plenty of pace in and around you.
Yeah, he's got a bit of gate speed. The one's sort of got some speed too, and then the high commander's always pretty quick off the gate as well, so there's going to be plenty of speed there, but we'll just sort of drive him off the gate and see where we end up from there.
Okay, but you certainly think he's capable?
Yeah, I think he is capable.
All right, well that's race 2, number 2. He's perfectly ideal. Race 3, you sit out. Race 4, the trot, and you know this guy really well, Kingdom Come. He just tries his heart out week in, week out. Last start second. That was a really good run.
Yeah, he's one of my favourites to drive. He's such an honest little fella, and you know, you can always sort of rely on him to do everything right. So probably a little bit tricky this week. Starting outside some fast beginners, so we'll have to just try and slot in somewhere early. But I think he can run another nice race.
Is he better suited this week back behind the tapes rather than last week being that mobile start?
Yeah, I definitely think he likes the stand better.
Okay. In saying that, though, you've got some quick beginners on your inside. I'm the Commando can really get away well. Stress factor on his night can really ping, and just a bit noisy, normally a really good beginner. So there is plenty of speedy beginners to your inside.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to have to hope to sort of slot in somewhere behind them at the start and give him a good trip. And yeah, he always finishes off really well.
Okay, being over the 2,138 metres and looking at those off the front row, it should be a fairly genuine run race.
Yeah, I hope so. Last week they sort of went pretty slow that first half and run a really good last half. So hopefully if there's more genuine tempo, that'll definitely help his chances.
Okay, you mentioned that he's one of your favourites. Is he easy to drive, Kingdom Come?
Yeah, he's really easy to drive. Nearly drives himself. He's just a lovely little horse.
Right up my alley then. I could probably handle him.
Yeah.
Race 5 will sit out. Race 6, Infatuation. Now, he's fresh up here, but on paper he looks really well placed because he's drawn behind the likely favourite in Uncle Shank. What did you make of the recent trial from Infatuation?
He just had a quiet trial, but he felt super. He was really strong to the line, and you know, he looks $1 million, and yeah, really happy with the way he's come back.
Okay, many are talking tactics here with Uncle Shank and Love Your Work. Love Your Work's going for 6 in a row. He's a run-it-hard type. So how does this race play out in your mind at this early stage? Does Uncle Shank hold, or does he drive in with cover and take a sit on Love Your Work?
Oh, I'm not sure, but you know, with leader Peter on Uncle Shank, I think he'll be wanting to hold the lead, which I really hope he does, because I think I'm a big chance if Uncle Shank can hold up.
Well, I was going to say, you want him to hold the lead, because that brings infatuation right into it. And looking at his record since coming across from Perth, he's been super.
He has been. He's a really nice horse, especially on the fence when there's a genuine tempo. So he's going to be right in that race.
Okay, well, that's the highlight race of the night for mine, race 6. That's a really good race. Race number 7, you know this horse well, Roll One Over. You've been with him in his recent couple of starts. So how's he trekking along? Is this a race that's within his reach?
Yeah, I think so. He had been racing really well. Last week, just sort of, the race didn't really suit when they just went flat out the whole way over 2100. Back to the mile this week, which I think will help him. I think he can run a nice race if he just gets a nice sit behind the speed somewhere.
Okay, there's plenty of speed in this front line as well, with Chuapika Glory, Key Largo drawing the front row. They're a couple of obvious ones, so it looks like there's going to be genuine tempo again here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, that's Roll One Over, race 7, number 4. Race 8, one of your own runners here, Vindicate. But unfortunately, she's got the ODM tag. She's got to overcome gate 7 here. Her run last week was really good under the circumstances.
Yeah, she's a little bit frustrating at times. She's got plenty of ability. I think she's sort of capable of winning a race like this if she puts her best foot forward, and if she sort of does everything right at the start and can get across early. I think she is capable, but yeah, you just sort of never really know what you're going to get with her.
Have we seen the best of her yet?
No, I don't think so. You know, she looked really promising her first few starts, and probably been a little bit of a letdown, but hoping we can get that ability out of her.
Okay, she looks like she's got the all-round game. She's got good gate speed, she can follow pace, and she can do a little bit of work without overdoing it. So if you do get her sorted, she looks like she could do a nice job.
Yeah, I think so. She just needs to sort of strengthen up mentally a bit.
Okay. Now, just looking at this race, only one's bitten, probably just lacks that early high speed. So there might be some early fireworks here.
Yeah, if she leaves like she can, I think we can get across them, and I'd probably sort of opt to hold the lead in a race like that. So we'll see how we go.
All right, well, that's race 8, number 7, Vindicate. And then we come to the last, race 9. This is a good quality band 5, race 4, the mares. Slick Sophie, you know this mare well. This is a strong lineup here.
Yeah, it is a really strong race. Bit of a tricky draw too. Uptown Beach Girl was super last week with some good mares chasing her and ran really good time, so she's probably going to be hard to beat from the draw. But yeah, Slick Sophie's honest mare, and I think she'll run a nice race also.
Uptown Beach Girl set up that really fast tempo, a tick over 52. Are they likely to go that sort of fast again this week?
I'd say so. Seems to sort of like to roll along, so probably suits us if they do. We can be sitting in somewhere, and I think she'd finish off really well.
Is Slick Sophie only a leader?
I don't think so. She's got plenty of speed. I think, you know, if we get the right trip, I think she is capable of coming from behind.
All right. Well, it's a busy night for you on Saturday night. Which drive are you most looking forward to?
I'll go with Infatuation.
Okay, good push there in a high-quality race. That's race 6, number 8, Infatuation. Narissa, as always, really appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Thanks, Chris.
Hayden Barnes slides into the hot seat to go through his drives on Saturday night. A pretty handy card on Saturday night. 9 races, Hayden going around in most. Hayden, appreciate the time.
Yep, thank you.
Let's start with your own runner, Harry Kane. Race 2, number 8. He's looking to kick another goal, named after the soccer star, no doubt. He's going super, so you must be really proud of the way he is performing.
Yeah, he's been flying at the moment. Sort of probably took a little bit to work him out, and he was still pretty green when we got him. So he's starting to turn the corner, and he's been putting in some very good runs at Albion.
He's only a little fella, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's only tiny.
Okay, now, a couple of obvious questions that I've got to ask. Who do you think will lead this field on Saturday night?
Ooh, it's a tough one. There's a lot of speed there. I think they're going to go quite hard early.
If So Much More happened to hold up from the inside, do you have the speed to hold his back?
From the second row, I am pretty slow. He has been getting out a little bit better, but I still don't know what he's going to do from 8.
Okay, so what was your first impression when you saw the field and you noticed that you'd drawn barrier 8, the inside of the second row? Where did you think you were going to land?
Probably nearly 3 fence, just in case, say if the one does lead, they're probably going to go hard enough early, something will be able to get in front of me. But look, he got out good from 1, 2 starts ago, and if he shows that, well, I'm tipping he'd be able to hold the leaders back.
It is likely, though, they are going to go hard, because when you look at that front row, there's a few there that will certainly test each other.
Yeah, they will. It's a very hot field for a qualifier.
Okay, now with Harry Kane last time out, we just saw that replay, a runner-up behind Motu Cullen. Did you think you were going to win on that occasion?
I did. He sort of hung in a little bit, probably about the 300, and that's when Motu Cullen got a bit of a check from something, and it probably slowed his momentum down a little bit, but I sort of did get going at 600, which he's been getting saved up to about 250, so it was a long run, and he sort of probably peaked his last 50.
Okay, he is capable of recording good sectionals, your horse. He's been doing it for his last 5 of 6 runs now, but he can run quick numbers.
He can, and he's starting to dial them right in now, so if they do go hard, he's going to be a good chance of sweeping over the top.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. He ranks as a half-brother to Lincoln Road, a horse that you won a stack of races on at Albion Park.
Yes, he's a half-brother to him.
Okay, so was that the attraction? Is that why you got him?
It was, yes. He was fairly cheap, and we had Lincoln Road, obviously, and Lincoln's Girl, which both were high-speed horses and just kept running all day, where even Tommy Lincoln, he sort of grinds out, but this guy is sort of a bit smaller than them and faster.
Okay. So long-term, what are you hoping for with Harry Kane?
Probably keep racing him and sell him on to America, hopefully.
All right. Well, that's Harry Kane in race number 2. Let's go across to race 3. You know this horse well, Willie Wile Lightning. He was able to score 4 starts ago. You're drawn out in gate 7. Has the thought crossed your mind of trying to light him up here at the start?
It has. He's better when you just let him do what he wants to do early. He showed that last week. He sort of come out of the circle, was a bit keen, wanting to get going, and I sort of held him back, waiting for a few others to come out of the circle, and he just hated that and started galloping. But if you let him slide out the gate, or even you can go flat out on him early and just doesn't miss a beat. But his gate speed is very good, so I wouldn't mind chancing the arm a little bit.
Okay, so you've got to work with him rather than him working with you. In saying that, there's plenty of speed to your inside. There's a chance. Speak with Sam. They can really fly early.
They can. So even if you come out hard for 50, and you might be able to slide straight across and sit on one of their backs.
Okay, so we're hoping for the best there?
Yes.
All right. Race 4, another runner for you here, your own, G Up Netty. You know this guy better than anyone. This is going to be start number 75 for you on Saturday night as the trainer of G Up Netty. 20 metres over the short trip. You've got a fair bit of traffic in front of you. It's not going to be easy. No,
it's not. It's sort of a lot bigger field than what we've been having in the trotters, so that's good. But yeah, the traffic and how that plays out, 2100 probably doesn't really suit him that much.
It's unlikely you're going to get any sort of breather here, because if you get away nicely, which he normally does, it looks like you're just going to be running from the get-go.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm the commander. He steps and runs along normally, so I can't see anything really getting across him. And if he runs the splits he's been running, well, it's going to be too hard for me back there.
In saying that, though, you are clearly the class runner of this field.
He is. He's going super, and I think he's just going to need a lot of luck from there.
Okay. Is there any sort of plans going forward? Is there anything during the summer carnival that you've got your eye on with G Up Netty?
Not at the moment, no. Sort of that other feature race was a mile, which is the entry into the Dominion, which I don't really race him over a mile because he just takes too long to balance up. So I think there's another race there for him as well, so he might target that.
Okay, let me ask this. If he did win that mile race and you got the golden ticket for the Inter-Dominion, would you take him?
Oh, he won't even be going in that mile race. So.
Okay, there you go. That answers that then. All right, let's move on to the last race. You know this mare well, Lucky Nutter. Last week, what did you make of her? It was a bad draw, and they just never came up for air there. 52.5, I think it was a 55.3 last half, but she actually made steady ground late.
Yeah, bad draw and probably a bad drive as well. I should have probably been on the fence there and taken all the shortcuts, but she raced super and she's been going super for a few starts now.
Okay, so what do you do from gate 6? Because it looks sticky on paper.
It does, and she doesn't have a lot of gate speed, so sort of she'll be probably coming back off the gate and probably just tucking in there somewhere and seeing how the race pans out.
Do you think they'll run it hard here? There are a couple on your inside that can go quickly.
Yeah, well, the two there, it ran good time last week and was the winner, so it looks like probably doing that again. If that happens, well, probably the fence is the best place for her.
All right. Of your drives on Saturday night, which one are you most looking forward to?
Probably Harry Kane, just to see how he takes that step up in grade.
All right, awesome. Race 2, number 8, Harry Kane. We'll put a big circle around his name. Appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Yep, thank you.
A big thanks to Narissa McMullen and Hayden Barnes giving up their time and insights ahead of their drives on Saturday night. Time now to find a good thing for the program. I think we get the money nice and early. Get the money and run. Race 1, number 1, Call Me Keith. He's second up. He draws the inside. He possesses really good gauge speed. The fence is the spot to be. Hopefully it will be, following the upgrade of the track earlier in the week. But I think he can start us off on the right note. Leading all of the way, race 1, number 1, Call Me Keith. We're going to mark him as the best bet on the program. Remember, if you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. We'll see you trackside at the Creek, the first of 9 at 5:42.